Hello everyone, and welcome to my video about the Pythagorean Theorem. This video is just for the more visual learners who don't quite understand the math behind this subject, or maybe just for ones who are simply curious as well. Today I will cover the proof of the concept and how it works, including a little visual twist. The equation for the Pythagorean Theorem is as shown. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is the root of the model and what you probably already know. Getting into the visual aspect of this model, we can see that there are two inputs from separate areas combining into one input. The goal is to get our lights that show off my beautiful vehicle show back up and running, but we need to first understand what is needed. I currently have a system for a coal-powered generator which requires an input of water and coal to start generating power for us in Satisfactory. We can get the coal from a vein nearby, and as you can see, I have built a miner above it, successfully harvesting the coal. A conveyor belt brings it to the model and splits it into some storage containers. These containers are emptied as they are filled, so the coal is brought out into our input area. For getting water for our generator, we can use a water extractor. You can then use pipelines and pumps to move the location of the water while you have it going into an industrial fluid buffer where it is then stored. It leaves the buffer when needed and travels to the input. So while I explain the math behind this model, you can visualize the inputs as I go into it. Getting into the model, you can see that there are separate colors for different parts of the area, with orange as your base right triangle, blue being a squared, red being b squared, and purple being c squared. Focusing on the orange right triangle, we can see that we have two sides that we know the value of and one that is mystery. In other words, we have the side as 3, the base is 4, and the hypotenuse as undiscovered. What we are going to do is square these numbers both visually and literally. The blue squares going out the triangle side total up to 9, which is the square of 3, and the red squares total up to 16, the square of 4, which is what the equation tells us to do. The proof now shows that if you add these two values together, that will be the value of the hypotenuse, or c squared, which is what we are trying to find. In this model, you can see that c squared is simply the combination of the two, which is total value now being 25. This process simply reverse engineered the equation. So now we are right back to a squared plus b squared equals c squared, but we still need to find the square root of 25 and bring the triangle back to proportion. Since we know that 5 times 5 equals 25, we can get the square root and have our answer as 5. Now that we have power, I can finally see my show and our problem is solved. Thank you for watching my tutorial. Hopefully you learned something, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Bye.